Well, I was actually, I've had a heck of a day today. Started at 6 when my son woke up going, Mama, Mama. And I'm really exhausted. But as I was travelling, I was thinking, what am I going to talk about? I'm not really a business person. I don't really do charts, and I can just about work out how to do percentages on the calculator and all this kind of stuff. And I was sat there listening to these three women before me. And honest to God, I really feel like I should go back and sit down there and listen to them, because it's so interesting to hear their stories, because you know how it is, you're sort of bored with hearing about yourself, really, and what I do seems not sort of business-like in the same way. Having said that, I think the where we all come together is the three things that I would credit my path with, and that is having a vision, what I see as what my role is in the world, being very focused about that vision, and 3, having the determination to follow that through. And that's what I've seen in front of me today. You're not all Capricorns, are you, by the way, like me? Okay. There's loads of very Capricorn traits. I think it's that, really, that I've heard today that I can compare to what I do. And I think the business of being an entrepreneur is really, as Laura said, it's about courage to see what it is that your vision is, to see how you can take that forward, and to remain focused on what your idea is from the beginning. And in the context of that, I can talk a little bit about how I got started, which, you know, might be of use, or might not, but, you know, that's kind of what I can talk about. At school, I had no idea what I was going to do. I just knew that I wanted to do something different. And for the longest time, I wanted to be a long-distance lorry driver. But now I know it was about being my own boss, being out on the open road, not being contained with the confines of my sort of close Indian family, and you know, having the power up there to rule the road. At school, I kind of did, you know, English, history, French, all that. And when it came to choosing what I was going to do next, after I was 16, we all sort of got taken into the careers room, and we all sort of had our lectures. And I had loved geography at school, and I had found a university that did a course that I really fancied, and it was in Norwich, and it was development studies. And again, geography appealed to me because it was the one thing at school that taught me about the outside world. And as a child of immigrants, it was the one area in school that I felt I was learning about something else other than what was around me. So my international sort of perspectives were sort of being developed and honed there. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but the idea of working in the field of development was something that appealed. I thought that was what my mission was going to be. And when I went into the careers office and said, look, this is what I'd like to do, I'd like to apply to this university, the careers officer, much like yourself, thought that, your careers officer, I mean, really thought that I was aiming far too high, and really tried to persuade me to do a secretarial course again. And when I sort of said, no, I don't want to be a secretary, then her next thing was, well, then I think you really should apply to a polytechnic, because it's very hard to get into a university. So that really was the beginning for me, was someone saying, no, you can't do it. And that, I think, is the biggest lesson. As soon as someone says no, that's when you have to focus, decide what your vision is, and be determined. So for me, it started at 16. I said, sod you, who the hell do you think you are? I'm going to that university, and I'm going to do that course, and you're not going to have the satisfaction of seeing me be a secretary. And I did. I went to UEA, did the course, and while I was there, I did a dissertation on images of women in India's media. And that was it. I suddenly realised the power of the media, and I realised how critical the media was in telling people what we as women were not really about. At the same time, in England, we were having the disturbances, the riots, a lot of stuff was going down in terms of second generation British Asians and black kids, and that people were striking out and making a stand against what their parents had accepted to be the right way of behaving. And we were coming around saying, we're British as well, but we're also Asian, and we're also from the Caribbean, and we're also this. And so the idea of Britishness was being thrown up in the air, and the media was having a heck of a day with the NF and Margaret Thatcher, and this whole definition of what it meant to be British. And for me, I just thought, this is what I have to do, is go out there and put forward what I see as my vision of Britain. Because I love Britain, I love living in this country, but the Britain that I see isn't the Britain that I was seeing on television. I had no idea about the movies at this point. I just thought I would be on television. I would work somehow in television. And then I did a course in journalism, started working on local radio. I found local radio very boring. I was up in Birmingham on Radio WM, and then I got a job as a researcher on various Channel 4 programmes. And from that, I realised, again, how constricting television is in terms of you being able to tell your story. So even though I now was in television, which for so many people is a dream job, I felt I'm not being able to express myself and my vision. And so once again, I was focused. I had the determination to say, I need to do something bigger than this. I need to push forward here because I'm not being able to have the control to say what I want to say. And so I then had the opportunity. One of these new director courses, there are loads of them around, and anyone can apply to them. I'm often giving the awards to these new short films by new filmmakers. Film London website's a good one. The UK Film Council website's a good one. And there's lots of, much more now than there was then, courses for people to do and opportunities to make short films.